Hello.
Hey, can you catch me?
I certainly can, and I'll do it
Are you
at the
gonna-
ballpark.
Hey! What are we talking about today?
We are talking about Catch Me at the Ballpark.
I don't remember if it was one that you brought to my attention or one that we both saw on Crunchyroll.
I had seen it on lists of being one of the ones that people were excited about this year. I was interested in seeing it, and it just had such a unique concept.
Yeah, it's clearly a slice of life, but I haven't seen one like this.
Yeah.
Like, this is really unique.
Well, it's an interesting thing because, you hear the title and you think, okay, it's a baseball anime.
Yeah, right?
And technically it is, in that it takes place at a ballpark.
Yeah.
But it's really not about baseball.
No.
And it's about the fans, and it's about the players too sometimes, but it's just about the love of baseball.
Yeah, well, I would say it's really about everything that has to do with the stadium and the functionality of a baseball game.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is about the players, it's about the fans, it's also about the girls who are the beer vendors, it's also about the food vendors, it's also about the people that are security. It is about like this community of people that come together to celebrate baseball.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because it starts off, the character that you start off with is Ruriko, who is a beer vendor girl.
Yes.
And she's the newest beer vendor girl.
Yes.
She's actually, if there is a star of the show, which there really isn't because it's very much ensemble, but if there was a star, it would be Ruriko because she kind of has a part in every episode.
Yeah, I would say, like you said, she's the closest to the main character. It's funny, when we watch this, we were sort of talking about, like, it's almost a bit like Friends. Like, you can't really say, like, oh, this is the main character of Friends. Because there's Ruriko, but there's also Murata, who is a salaryman who, like, comes to the stadium to watch games because it's sort of his escape from this office life that he leads.
Yep.
There is baseball players like Kojiro, who is, like, near the end of his career, but still trying to be great.
Yep.
There's also Kojiro's wife.
Yeah,
There's
Yuki.
I mean, it's like, and each one of the beer vendor girls that work with Ruriko, we also learn more about as time goes on. And so it really does become this really fascinating show that's just like full of fun, interesting characters.
Yeah, it's great because you see the different characters in different episodes come together in different ways. There's these security guard characters. There's this one family that's always there. There's, like you said, Ruriko and the other beer vendor girls. There's Murata. There's Murata's workmate.
Yes.
There's the players, like you said, like Kojiro, or actually some of the non-Japanese players.
Yes.
There's Dennis Young.
Dennis Young.
And
Gotta love Dennis.
Anthony Bryan.
Classic American names.
Yeah, and it's fun because like they're sometimes speaking English.
Yes. Some tells me though it is definitely someone whose first language is Japanese.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not a professor of linguistics, but I assume that, yeah.
I also like the different dynamics between characters. It's funny because Murata, just by his nature of being a nice guy, all of these different girls seem to sort of be like fawning over him a little bit. Ruriko totally has a crush on him.
Yes.
There's the food vendor girl that he's her prince.
Yes.
There's the girl from work that just, I don't know if she has a crush on him, but she's definitely excited to see him there.
Yeah.
I love that he sits in the back of the stadium, where there aren't very many people. It's like he's a true fan there for the game, but the team isn't very good. The Motor Sons.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. Murata definitely is having a bit of a lonely guy fantasy in this show because there are these great girls fawning over him. But, once again, it's just like one part of this. I mean, what I think I really liked about this show is I feel like it is the perfect show for somebody that maybe doesn't have a community.
Yeah.
That maybe is a little lonely. This is a show that makes you feel like you're part of this, and not just that, but if you go out in the world, you can be part of something.
Yeah.
And that's like really nice because so much of the anime we watch is kind of like there's such a barrier to entry. Like, we're not going to be Magic Knights in Black Clover.
I mean, we could be.
But most likely not.
Our life could become an isekai.
The troubling part is if you want to fall into an isekai, it feels like 9 times out of 10 you have to die. So I really don't want to take the chance of, being maybe in an isekai.
Valid.
And with my luck, I'd be like that, like, I'm a slime, so what? Or like I'm a spider, or like resurrected as a vending machine.
Yeah.
It would be something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to stay in the nice world where there's things like baseball and beer.
And you can just go to the ballpark and hang out.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. I love the character of Uriko. You know,
yes.
It's her first year doing the beer vending. I love that she doesn't know anything about baseball. And so she's always trying to learn. She's always reading the baseball magazine or the newspaper, the sports page, you know, or listening to the fans and trying to get a sense of what they're talking about. Half the time she's like, you still don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but she's got that, like, she does have a bit of that classic shonen hero thing. Like, she's not the smartest person, but she's got, like, the best attitude, and she brings people together because of that. It's sweet. Yeah. And it's, like, inspiring.
The way that she interacts with the different fans is just so great. And her love of the people loving baseball.
Yes.
You know, she's so passionate about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fantastic. I love that she's a 20-year-old that's social media inept.
Yes, she doesn't even know what Ninsta is.
Has no idea.
How could she not know? It is that format we see for a lot of comedies where it's actually like 3 mini episodes per 30-minute episode. So I do feel like it's a bit tough to watch all at once, but I also think it's a great thing to watch like 1 per day or 2 per day, because once again, like I do really honestly feel like if I had a job like Murata that like I hated and needed to like escape and I was lonely, this would be my show. Totally. I feel like if I was somebody living away from my family, I would love this show. Like, it's got this thing to it that just feels warm.
There's just a joy. Watching it is just a joy, and it's funny and it's silly and it's just happy.
It really is.
Just purely happy.
It is. It almost feels like we're watching the anime that's a side anime for a sports anime. There is a lot of love for baseball in Japan. And so there's quite a few baseball anime. And it's actually really funny. Like, Ace of Diamonds is the most popular. But it's really funny. I realized that, like, we've never watched a baseball anime. No. We've seen so many sports anime.
We have.
But we haven't seen a base. So it was kind of funny that this was sort of our intro into it. And also, we've also never watched a drinking anime.
That's true.
And I know there's a bunch of those too.
Yeah.
You know, like Bartender Glass of God. Yeah. You know, that came out last year. We haven't watched that yet. So it was also kind of fun that it's got that. It's kind of like a sports anime. It's kind of like a beer anime. But not really.
Well, it's funny because they do have a little bit of playing baseball occasionally, you know, and they do have things about the beer. So you learn little facts about the beer and the pouring the beer. You learn things about baseball stats, even though I'm like listening to it and I'm like, I feel like I've never heard these stats before.
I haven't either. I feel like they might be like
Japanese stats?
Maybe, like more, because I've never heard of it. But once again, like, I don't really follow baseball.
They're referring to players as like 6-hole whatever. And
I'm
like,
I don't know what that was about. Mean? I have no idea. You know, and I've watched Moneyball a few times. I have no idea what any of that means. I also got to say, I love Sunshiro, the mascot.
Yes, oh my gosh.
Sunshiro is such a great character. You know, like a mascot, always silent. Very much looks like a big Squirtle.
Yeah, totally.
And, like, just, like, good vibes. Is there to, like, help people. Is there to inspire people. Is, like, Sunshiro is exactly, like, the embodiment of a great mascot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's great on the field, but I do love that he goes around and he just helps people out. He helps members of the team out, members of the staff out, just fans out in general. Yeah. It's so fantastic.
It really is. You know, I actually quite love this show.
Yeah.
I think it's like one I would rewatch again. Ruriko is a great lead. She's so fun. She's funny. She's cute. Like, her, like, relationship with all the different people is just, like, kind of like, I think how a lot of people kind of wish their life was.
Totally.
But I love everybody. I love Murata. I love the girl who works at the food station who got stuck there because she's a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I love the old men that have been there for years. Yeah. This is their home.
Yeah.
And, like,
I love Yuki and Kisa, the girlfriend and wife of two of the players.
Yes.
And their, like, rivalry, even though they don't realize that they're the significant others of players.
But they have, like, a bento box rivalry.
And they're both sitting in this back section. Again, they're sitting with the fans. They're not in the special, you know, family section.
Totally.
Also, this is one of those shows where we ended up watching the beginning and end credits on both sides. I can't say that they're my favorite songs, but I also love them.
They're bangers. They're both so good. Like, the first song is great, and I love all the visuals. I love Ruriko running to the stadium because she's always late.
Yeah.
I love her Nirvana shirt, which we had to, like, go, like, we had to pause. So I'm like, she's got a Nirvana shirt. And you're like, no, there's no way it's Nirvana.
I was like, it's got to be like a McDonald's. And
yeah, and you were, and I was like, no, I definitely saw Nirvana.
Like, nope, it's Nirvana.
Yeah, you were right. You were totally right. And I love, and the end is like so adorable.
Oh my God.
Because they're all like, all the beer vendor girls are like their chibi versions, and they're like singing like they're part of a J-pop group. And it's like, and there's like a beer background. It's like, I love it.
It's so cute.
Like, it's so fun. Yeah, no, this show is definitely like, if you need some, I actually think it's the perfect show for right now, because like the world is a little meh. Yeah. And I think like this is the perfect show to like kind of like put you back in the thing of like, people are good, community's good, there's other things that you can be into and inspired by.
Well, this can be your escapism the same way that the Ballpark is for Murata.
Exactly. All right, guys, Catch Me at the Ballpark is on Crunchyroll. It should be done now, so you should check it out because it's a great time.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments down below what your favorite slice of life anime is.
Nice. Good question.
Pretty great, huh? All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye.